Have you ever found yourself reaching for a handful of nuts, thinking it's healthy, so it must be good for me, only to feel bloated, tired, or even a bit off afterward? You're not alone. For years, we've been told that nuts are a great snack full of protein, good fats, and nutrients. And while that's true for the most part, there's a hidden side to this story that's especially important if you're over 60. See, as we age, our bodies start to process foods differently. What once gave us energy can now weigh us down. Our digestion changes, our kidneys, blood vessels, and even our brains become more sensitive to the choices we make. And nuts, yes, those crunchy little powerhouses can either help us thrive or quietly cause harm, depending on which ones we choose. That's why today, we're having an honest conversation about nuts. Not all of them are as innocent as they seem, and for older adults, choosing the wrong ones can impact everything from your blood pressure to your memory. But don't worry, we're not here to take away your favorite snacks. In fact, by the end of this video, you'll know exactly which 4 nuts to avoid, which 4 you should eat regularly to boost your energy, protect your heart, and keep your mind sharp. Let's start by thinking about something simple: how you feel after a snack. Ever notice a weird lingering aftertaste? Or maybe you feel bloated, gassy, or just a bit sluggish. That's not your imagination. One of the most common culprits behind that reaction is actually something that masquerades as healthy: peanuts. Now, here's the thing. Peanuts are not technically nuts, they're legumes. While they're packed with protein and often cheap and convenient, they come with a set of problems that can be particularly harsh for seniors. The first issue: peanuts are one of the most mold-prone foods in the world. They often carry something called aflatoxins, which are toxic compounds produced by mold. These can accumulate in the body over time and may cause inflammation or even liver stress, to things you absolutely don't want after 60, even if mold's not an issue. Peanuts are high in omega-6 fatty acids. That sounds healthy, but here's the catch: too much omega-6, without enough omega-3 to balance it out, causes chronic inflammation. And if you're dealing with arthritis, high blood pressure, or cognitive fog, this kind of inflammation could be silently making things worse. And let's not forget how most people eat peanut salted, roasted, and often tossed in cheap oils. That combo is like a triple threat for your blood pressure, heart, and waistline. So while they may be easy to grab during TV time or as a snack between meals, they're simply not worth it. But let me pause here and say this: we're not talking about never enjoying food. We're talking about being smart, knowing what's helping and what's harming. And that brings us to a nut you should be eating instead: almonds. Almonds are like nature's multivitamin. They're rich in calcium, which is essential for bone strength, something we all need more of as we age. They're also packed with magnesium, which helps regulate everything from muscle function to blood sugar levels. But perhaps even more importantly, almonds contain antioxidants that protect your brain cells from damage. That means a better shot at keeping your memory sharp and your mind clear. Now, here's a little tip: choose raw or dry roasted almonds without added salt or sugar. And don't go overboard, a small handful a day is plenty.
Not yet.
Just soaking a few almonds overnight and eating them in the morning can do wonders for your digestion and energy levels. Speaking of digestion, there's another nut that's commonly found in mixed snack bowls and fancy party trays, but it might not be doing your kidneys any favors. Cashews. Yes, I know, they're creamy, they're satisfying, and they have that buttery bite. Cashews are sneaky. They're high in oxalates, which are compounds that can increase your risk of developing kidney stones, especially if you already have a sensitive digestive system or struggle with hydration. Cashews are also high in carbohydrates compared to other nuts, so that means they can spike your blood sugar, leading to crashes, fatigue, and over time, it's contributing to insulin resistance. If you're someone who's managing diabetes, pre-diabetes, or just trying to keep your metabolism steady, cashews might be working against you even if they feel like a healthy choice. So what should you snack on instead? Here's one you might not have considered: walnuts. Walnuts are often called brain food. And it's not just because they look like little brains. They're rich in plant-based omega-3, specifically alpha-linolenic acid, which helps reduce Inflammation in your brain and joints, that means fewer aches, better mood, and a sharper mind. And here's something interesting. Walnuts are one of the only nuts that actually improve sleep. They contain a bit of melatonin, the natural hormone your body produces to help regulate sleep. So if you've been tossing and turning, waking up groggy, or needing a nap just to get through the day, try adding a few walnuts in the evening. It could help your body settle into a deeper, more restorative sleep. Plus, walnuts have compounds that support your heart health, lower bad cholesterol, and even reduce the risk of cognitive decline. Just a few each day, not a lot can offer. Real, noticeable benefits over time. Now, let's turn to a nut that sounds fancy, but may be quietly causing issues, especially when it comes to weight gain and cardiovascular stress. I'm talking about macadamia nuts. Rich, buttery nuts are delicious, no doubt. But they're also incredibly calorie-dense and high in saturated fats. At a time in life when our metabolism slows down and every bite matters more, macadamia nuts can lead to unintended weight gain and strain on the heart. Their fat content might be healthy in moderation, but most people don't eat them in moderation. And when you're snacking while watching a show or catching up on the news, it's easy to eat more than you think. Instead of macadamias, there's a better choice. Something with a crunch, a salty sweet flavor, and a whole host of health benefits. Pistachios. Pistachios are a powerhouse when it comes to blood sugar control, vision support, and heart health. They contain lutein and zeaxanthine, two antioxidants that protect your eyes, especially from age-related damage. They're also low on the glycemic index, meaning they won't spike your blood sugar. And thanks to their fiber and protein content, they keep you feeling full longer. And here's a bonus. Shelling pistachios slows you down. That mindful act of removing each shell helps prevent overeating and allows your body time to signal when it's full. It's a small thing, but sometimes those small things make all the difference. Let's take a breath here. We've already uncovered some surprising facts about peanuts, cashews, and macadamia nuts, and learned how almonds, walnuts, and pistachios can be gentle, nourishing allies for your aging body. Because there's still one more nut that's worth celebrating, and one more that may quietly be causing more harm than you realize. Let's keep this conversation going. So far, we've looked at the surprising problems with peanuts, cashews, and macadamia nuts and discovered the benefits of almonds, walnuts, and pistachios. Now, let's turn our attention to a nut that many seniors have never even considered as part of their daily routine, but one that can be a game changer. I'm talking about the humble yet mighty Brazil nut. Now, I get it. Brazil nuts aren't exactly the kind of snack you see everyone munching on. In fact, you might have even picked them out of the nut mix and tossed them aside, unsure what to do with them. But let me tell you, those big, slightly waxy-looking nuts, they're a treasure trove for your health, especially after 60 Brazil. Nuts are one of the richest natural sources of selenium, a trace mineral your body needs but can't make on its own. Why is selenium so important? Well, after 60, many men and women experience dips in thyroid function, sluggish metabolism, low energy, or mood swings. A lot of that can be tied back to low selenium levels, which affect your thyroid hormone production. Even more interesting, selenium also supports testosterone levels in men and hormone balance in women. So if your energy feels off, your mood's been low, or you've noticed a drop in motivation or physical stamina, this one little nutrient might be part of the reason why. And guess what? Just one Brazil nut per day can give you your full recommended amount of selenium, no pills needed. But it's not just about hormones. Selenium is also a powerful antioxidant, protecting your cells from oxidative stress, which is one of the sneaky drivers behind premature aging. It helps protect your heart, your nerves, and even your brain. That's a lot of power packed into just one bite, don't you think? Now, remember, Brazil nuts are potent. You don't need a handful. Just 1 or 2 a day is plenty. Think of it as a little daily health capsule straight from nature. But as we highlight the best, we also have to be honest about one more nut that often goes under the radar: pine nuts. Now, I know you may not be snacking on pine nuts out by the handful like peanuts or cashews, but they do sneak into salads, pestos, and fancy recipes. And while they might seem harmless, pine nuts can come with a few downsides, especially for seniors. First off, some people develop what's known as pine mouth after eating them. Sounds strange, right? But it's a real thing. It causes a bitter, metallic taste that can linger in your mouth for days, sometimes weeks. For seniors who already may struggle with reduced appetite or taste changes due to medications or aging, that lingering, unpleasant taste can make eating even less enjoyable. And here's the other. Concerned pine nuts can interfere with certain medications, especially blood thinners or blood pressure meds. They're also small, slippery, and can be a choking hazard, especially if you have trouble chewing or swallowing. So while they're not inherently toxic, they come with a few more risks than benefits for older adults. So let's review where we're at. If you're over 60 and want to support your energy, brain, circulation, and hormones, almonds, walnuts, pistachios, and Brazil nuts should be your go-to choices. And the ones to be cautious about, or better yet, avoid are peanuts, cashews, macadamia nuts, and pine nuts. But knowledge alone isn't enough, right? Let's talk about how to make this real in your daily life, because I know change can be overwhelming, especially when it comes to food. The last thing I want is for you to feel like you have to toss out your favorite snacks overnight or flip your kitchen upside down. So here's a gentle approach. Swap, don't stop. Let's say you love putting cashews in your stir-fry, replacing them with sliced almonds. They add crunch, and you still get that satisfying texture without the kidney stone risk. Well, maybe. You're used to grabbing a handful of mixed nuts during your afternoon tea. Just make your own blend. A small container with unsalted almonds, a couple of Brazil nuts, a few walnuts, and some pistachios. That's your new energy-boosting, brain-loving mix right there. And if you're someone who craves that salty snack feel, roast your nuts lightly at home and add just a sprinkle of pink Himalayan salt or your favorite herbs. That way, you're in control of the flavor and your health. Another tip? Keep your nuts in a visible spot. I'm serious. Sometimes the healthiest choices are the ones that are easiest to grab. Place a small bowl on the kitchen counter, the coffee table, or even next to your favorite chair. That visual cue helps you stay consistent. It turns this tiny habit into something that becomes second nature. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, but aren't nuts high in fat? That's a valid concern. And yes, nuts are calorie dense. But here's the secret. Healthy fats are your friend, especially as you age. Your brain, your heart, your joints, they all rely on good fats to function well. The fats in almonds, walnuts, and pistachios, for example, are unsaturated and anti-inflammatory. They help your cells communicate, your hormones stay balanced, and your mood stay steady. The trick is portion control. Not a bowl, not a bag, just a small, mindful handful a day. Think of it this way. A handful of the right nuts can be the difference. Between a sluggish afternoon and an energized one, between a foggy brain and a sharp conversation, between feeling frustrated with your body and feeling proud of how you're taking care of it. And isn't that what we're all aiming for? To feel good, to feel strong, to age not with fear, but with confidence. So today, maybe it starts with one simple thing, putting almonds instead of peanuts, or tossing a few walnuts on your morning oats, or making room for that one Brazil nut with your breakfast. You don't need to do it all at once. It's one step, one swap, one choice at a time. That's how real change happens. And before you know it, these small choices start working together, building momentum, creating big results. Let your snack be your medicine. Let your daily handful be a quiet promise to yourself that your health, your energy, your memory, they're all still worth protecting. And when we start treating these small choices like acts of self-respect instead of sacrifices, that's when everything starts to change. Because aging doesn't mean fading, it means refining, sharpening, growing into wisdom, and learning how to give your body exactly what it needs. And it turns out, what your body needs after 60 isn't complication or confusion, it's clarity.
Oh.
It's knowing which foods quietly lift you up and which ones slowly bring you down. And when it comes to nuts, we now know the truth. Not all are created equal, but let's not stop there. Let's take it a step further. It's not just which nuts you eat, but also how you eat them, and when, and what else there. Paired with, let me ask you this, how many times have you skipped a meal? Only to reach for a snack later and call it good enough? It happens. Life gets busy. Or maybe your appetite just isn't what it used to be. But here's something I've seen again and again. When seniors rely on random snacking instead of planned, nourishing meals, they start to feel foggy, tired, irritable, even anxious. So one of the most powerful things you can do is make nuts part of a balanced habit, not just a filler. For example, try this. Take your morning tea or coffee, and instead of having it alone or with a sugary biscuit, have it with a small plate of food, maybe a boiled egg and a few almonds, maybe a slice of whole grain toast with a little natural peanut butter, if peanuts aren't an issue for you, or almond butter. Add in a Brazil nut or two, and you've just created a heart-healthy, brain-boosting, energy-stabilizing start to your day. That's the kind of nourishment that carries you through. Mid-morning hunger? Skip the chips. Try a handful of walnuts. With some fruit. The fats in the nuts help your body absorb vitamins from the fruit better. And the natural sweetness keeps your sugar cravings at bay without a crash an hour later. You see? This is what no one talks about enough. It's not just what's in the food dye, it's how it works in your body. It's how it supports your mood, your focus, your strength, your memory. And nuts, if you pick the right ones, can become your secret weapon. And I know, there's still hesitation. For some, but doctor, I've been told to watch my cholesterol. Or, my blood pressure is already high. Should I really be eating salty nuts? It's a great question. And here's the truth. Salted, processed nuts, the kind that come in cans with flashy labels and sit on the shelf for months, those can be a problem. They're often roasted in unhealthy oils, packed with extra sodium, and stripped of some of their nutrients, but raw or dry roasted, unsalted nuts, they're a different story entirely. Unsalted almonds, for instance, provide natural magnesium and calcium, two minerals that actually help regulate blood pressure, not raise it. Walnuts? They have plant-based omega-3 fats that lower LDL cholesterol and protect your arteries. And pistachios? Believe it or not, studies show that regular consumption of unsalted pistachios may help lower systolic blood pressure and improve artery flexibility. So yes, if your doctor has told you to watch your salt or your cholesterol, that doesn't mean you need to cut out nuts completely. It means you need to choose wisely. And maybe more importantly, choose naturally, because your body recognizes real food. It knows what to do with it. And when you give it the nutrients it's been quietly asking for, things start. It's working better again. You might notice you don't feel so tired by 3 p.m. You might find your digestion feels smoother, your memory sharper, your joints a little less stiff. Slowly that spark you thought had dimmed starts coming back. I've seen it happen, not overnight, but steadily. And it almost always starts with a decision, not a dramatic change, but a quiet moment when someone says, I want to feel better. I'm ready to take the first small step. And if that's where you are right now, I want to say good for you. I really mean that, because this isn't about perfection. It's about presence. It's about paying attention to how food makes you feel. It's about giving your body the care and kindness it's earned after carrying you this far. So here's something else you can try. Get into the rhythm of weekly planning. I'm not talking about prepping containers for days in advance like a fitness guru. I mean just choosing a few go-to snack combinations that nourish you and are easy to reach for. For example, a small glass jar with raw walnuts and dried cranberries, a tin with unsalted almonds and thin dark chocolate pieces, a little bowl by the door with your daily Brazil nut, right where you'll see it before you leave for a walk. These little routines help your body trust that nourishment is coming. When your body can trust you, it doesn't panic. It doesn't hoard fat. It doesn't spike blood sugar or send cravings screaming. It supports you. And that's what good food is supposed to do. Not confuse you, not frighten you, not weigh you down. It's supposed to lift you up. Now, before we close this part of our conversation, let me remind you this isn't about fear. I know we've talked about the nuts that can cause inflammation, raise blood sugar, mess with your medication, or even affect your taste and appetite. But the message isn't avoid everything. It's be aware.
Ow.
It's about empowerment. Because when you know better, you don't just make different choices. You make choices that align with how you want to feel, how you want to live, how you want to age. Strong, clear, confident, not weighed down by fatigue or uncertainty, but energized by simplicity. And when it comes to nuts, those little bites can carry big power. So take it, own it. Make the choice that makes you feel good inside and out. And as we continue this journey together, let me ask you something simple but important. When was the last time you paused and thought, am I giving my body what it truly needs to age with strength and grace? You see, by now you know which for nuts to avoid and which for to embrace. But there's more to the story than just good and bad. Because the real secret to using food as medicine lies in consistency, balance, and knowing how to listen to your body at this stage in life. Your body's needs have changed. That youthful metabolism that once let you eat anything you wanted, without consequence, it's slowed down. Your immune system, your brain, your heart, they all need a little more care. And that care doesn't have to come in the form of dozens of pills or complicated diets. Often, it starts with something as small and powerful as a daily handful of the right nuts. Let's explore how to make these superfoods work for you not just once in a while, but every single day in a way that feels natural, enjoyable, and, most importantly, sustainable. Let's begin with your morning routine. What you do within that first hour after waking can set the tone for the whole day. Maybe you're someone who starts with a cup of tea, some light stretching, or perhaps a short walk. That's wonderful, but now let's add something just as powerful: nutrition for your nerves, hormones, and heart. Try this each morning. Alongside your tea or breakfast, have one Brazil nut. Just one. It might not seem like much, but that's where the magic is. That single nut is your daily dose of selenium, boosting your thyroid function, lifting your mood, and sharpening your brain. It's a small promise to yourself that says, I'm taking care of me. Right after that, sprinkle walnuts into your oatmeal or yogurt. Why walnuts in the morning? Because they contain plant-based omega-3s, south, and natural melatonin. They help reduce inflammation in your brain, support memory, and keep your thinking clear and steady throughout the day. They also help improve your sleep quality. And as you already knows, sleep is the foundation of healing. If you're not sleeping well, your body can't restore itself properly. It's that simple. Now mid-morning comes around. Be you're doing some housework, reading, or catching up on your garden. That's a good time for a quick, nourishing snack, just a small handful of almonds. Why almonds? Because they're rich in magnesium and calcium, two minerals that seniors are often deficient in. These minerals help with bone strength, blood pressure, and even maintaining a steady mood. And the best part? Almonds are naturally crunchy, satisfying, and easy to carry with you. Lunch arrives, and here's a trick I love. Sprinkle some pistachios into your salad or rice bowl. These little green gems aren't just delicious, they're loaded with potassium, fiber, and antioxidants that support vision, heart health, and blood sugar balance. Unlike processed snacks, pistachios give you energy without the crash. Now, remember these aren't huge changes. You're not flipping your entire diet upside down. You're simply nudging your meals toward healing. One smart choice at a time. And here's something else to consider. What you avoid matters just as much as what you include. So while you're making space for these nourishing nuts, take a moment to consciously step back from the ones we talked about earlier. Let's say someone offers you a peanut butter cookie at tea time. And sure, it might look tempting, but if you remember how peanuts can inflame the joints, disrupt digestion, and raise your blood pressure, you'll start to look at that cookie a little differently. You might even say, no thank you, I'm choosing to feel good today. Or maybe cashews are in your favorite trail mix, but you remember how they can spike your blood sugar and stress your kidneys. That knowledge gives you the power to choose differently, without guilt or confusion. And macadamia nuts? While they might be okay in tiny amounts, they're so rich in saturated fat that, for many seniors, they end up doing more harm than good. especially if weight management or heart health is already a concern. Then there are pine nuts. Maybe you're making pesto? Can still enjoy the recipe just. Consider swapping in walnuts or almonds instead. Same texture, better nutrients, and no risk of those strange taste disturbances or medication interference. This isn't about being perfect. It's about being aware. It's about understanding what your body truly needs and making small, loving choices that support your future. And one of the most beautiful things I see, especially in people over 60, is this. When you start to feel better, more energy, less stiffness, better sleep you don't want to stop, it becomes natural. You don't have to convince yourself to eat better if your body asks for it. But I also know that old habits die hard. You may have been eating peanuts your whole life. Maybe cashews were your favorite snack. And the idea of changing that might feel sad or even frustrating. Let me tell you something from the heart. It's okay to grieve an old habit. You're not just saying goodbye to a food. You might be letting go of a memory, a comfort, or a routine. That's normal. That's human. But what comes next is a new kind of comfort, the one that comes from waking up with more energy, moving through the day with less pain, knowing that you're investing in your future. And here's the thing, this isn't about restriction. It's about replacement. You're not saying no to joy, you're saying yes to feeling your best. So go ahead. Make your own special longevity nut mix. Keep a little container by your bed or next to your favorite chair. It's more than just a snack. It's your health strategy. It's your act of daily self-respect. As we wrap up this part of the conversation, let's return to the big picture. Your health, your mind, your energy there, worth protecting. Every single day, you've learned that not all nuts are created equal. Some lift you up, nourish you, and protect you. Others sneak in and cause quiet harm. But now, you're equipped. You know what to choose, how to enjoy it, and how to make it a lasting part of your routine. And remember, you don't have to change everything at once. One Brazil nut today, few walnuts tomorrow. A small handful of almonds during your favorite show. A sprinkle of pistachios on your salad. It's not about perfection, it's about direction. And you, my friend, are on the right path. So now that we've walked through the 4 nuts you should embrace, and the 4 you should probably say goodbye to, let's take a step back and reflect on what this really means. Not just for your health, but for your daily life, your energy, and even your confidence. Because this isn't just about snacking smarter. It's about taking back control over your body and making choices that reflect how much you still have to live for. You see, what we eat doesn't just affect our cholesterol or our weight, it changes how we sleep, how we think, how we move, and how we feel when we wake up in the morning. One handful of the wrong nut might not ruin your health overnight, but over weeks, months, and years, those little things add up. And so do the good choices, a few Brazil nuts each week. That's not just selenium for your thyroid. That's the fuel your body uses to regulate hormones and protect your brain. Swapping out those sugary, salted peanuts for a small bowl of walnuts. That's not just a snack, that's a tool too. Lower inflammation and help your memory stay sharp for years to come. Choosing almonds instead of cashews. That's calcium and magnesium your bones are begging for. It's peace of mind, knowing you're nourishing, not punishing your body. And here's the truth. You deserve that peace of mind. You've done the hard work. You've raised families, built careers, made sacrifices, and weathered storms. This chapter of life isn't about slowing down. It's about thriving on your own terms. And food can either be a companion on that journey or a quiet enemy that chips away at your energy and clarity without you even realizing it. But now, you know better. You know that not all nuts are equal. You know that peanut butter isn't always harmless. You know that just because something is called healthy doesn't mean it's healthy for you, especially after 60. And maybe the biggest lesson in all of this is that we're never too old to change. Never too old to feel better. Never. Too late to try something new and experience the difference it makes. So I'd like to encourage you right now, yes, you watching this, to take a small action today. Maybe that means going to your kitchen and tossing out that old jar of peanuts that's been sitting on the shelf. Maybe it means picking up a small bag of pistachios or almonds the next time you're at the store. Or maybe it's simply pausing. Before your next snack, taking a breath and asking yourself, is this helping me live better or just keeping me stuck? That one pause, that one thoughtful moment, that's where real change begins. Now, I also want to say this: don't let food rules make you afraid. This video isn't about shame, guilt, or fear. It's about empowerment. It's about knowledge. It's about reminding you that your health isn't a lost cause. Just because the years have added up, you're still here. You still matter. You still have so much life left to live. Let food be your partner in that journey, not your obstacle. Let it lift you up, not drag you down. And remember, you don't have to be perfect. You just have to be intentional. If you've made it this far in the video, give yourself some credit. You care, you're curious, you're ready to take charge of your health. And I applaud you for that. Is it because the best years of your life? They don't have to be behind you. They can be right now. And before I go, I want to remind you, if this video helped you, inspired you, or even just made you think a little differently about your daily snacks, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment and share one nut you're going to adore, one you're finally ready to let go of. And of course, don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this, because this community is growing and you're a valuable part of it. Every like, every comment, and every share helps us reach more seniors who deserve to hear this message. You're not alone on this path. We're walking it together, one bite, one breath, and one choice at a time. Here's to energy, clarity, and the joy of feeling alive again, one healthy nut at a time. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video,